You can only be kidding when it's coming from the Onion, Mystic, okay? We talked about this.
Sorry. According to the Onion, the 12th century electrical system in Notre Dame is the reason for the fire.
Dude, I almost didn't catch. I was like, "There's no fucking way." I kept reading down and down. I was like, okay, the Onion, cool. I was like, with that Yoshi shit, I was like, oh, there's no fucking way to let that go. I was like, oh, you almost had me, motherfucker.
Here we go.
Oh, what the hell is going on here?
What is going on here?
Mute that shit.
All right.
We live, people.
We're
Live.
live.
Doing it live.
Dear God,
With your
let us
mom.
back on that their internet.
All right. Let's kick it.
Yes, you can.
Kick it.
Kicking it old school. Okay, no.
Tonight on
Yeah.
the Red Eye Report, we discuss memory.
What are we talking about?
Awesome.
Memory. What do we know about making memories? How can we improve our memory? How good is your memory?
Stop smoking pot for one.
With me is Ashtray. He's got a terrible fucking memory. He can't remember jack shit.
Where am I?
It's like 5,000 first dates with this guy at this point. But he does seem to always remember where the nudies and the beers are, though. Maybe it's some kind of weirdo, pervo, drunk scheme.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Muscle
Consider it
memory.
my drunken perverted sixth sense.
It's like professional athletes. They do it so many times it just gets ingrained.
Right.
Oh, I always know when I still have a couple swigs left in my beer and I set it down somewhere. I will walk around the house for days looking for it.
He's like the Usain Bolt
That-
of masturbation and drunkenness. All right. Next up, we have Teddy. He's on the opposite side of the spectrum. He can remember everything. Watch this. Teddy, tell me something about Tuesday, April 17th, 2018.
I thought we were doing the show yesterday.
Okay. Maybe Teddy's memory's not that great either. We
You know
also
it's 2019, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like what happened a year ago today? Tell us.
I don't know.
I don't know. I was probably fucking somebody. I don't know. What do you want me to? What do you want from me? God damn it!
This is an
Well,
inquisition.
don't put me on the spot like this. We talked about this, okay?
Dude,
Jesus Christ!
you're not very
You
good
did it
at
in rehearsal,
the
for
whole
God's sake.
following someone's lead thing, are you?
All right. We also have Mystic. His memory's pretty good. He's also high all the time, so that brings it down to mentally retarded goldfish territory.
Yeah.
That's a pretty.
The
Fucking
worst
my
kind of
friend.
goldfish.
They're my friend.
Imagine how angry he'd be if he actually could remember the things that he was raging about.
Yeah, right.
Is that why he randomly headbutts people in crowds?
Yes, because he just, like a flash of memory. He's just like,
PTSD of anger.
Ah!
That's why I have "Go fuck your mom" tattooed all over my body.
Yep.
it's like, what was that? Memento?
Yes. like Memento for rapists.
Oh, he just
Wow.
took a dark
Teddy's
turn
mom.
there.
Right?
It
Hey.
didn't take long this episode.
Headbutton's one thing. Now we're
Finally, there's me, Oracle. I have a magic memory trick. I can forget my bike lock no matter how desperately I need to open it. It's a combination. I guess I could buy a bunch of locks or even get one with a key, but it was just easier for me to leave mine downtown. So, much easier to be a fat monkey. Welcome to the Red Eye Report. Dun, dun, dun. Okay,
You really just leave your bike downtown?
you guys are still down there?
it's not still down there. I have had to leave my bike
Stole
though,
it.
and I've
Did you have to
gone.
go back home to look up what the number was?
I've
you have it written down
gone-
somewhere or what?
I've gone through like 4 bike locks. I've had to cut them. I've had to do everything.
Steal your own bike back.
Yeah, right.
Do people ever give you shit for?
Yeah, say, what are you doing? Be like, no, this is my bike. It's cool. I
Like I
forgot the
get into a
combination.
fight with
I
like
would
a good
say that all the
Samaritan.
time if I was stealing bikes.
Yeah, no shit.
Forgot the combination. That's why I always have these
With
big
cars and shit.
bolt cutters.
All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about some memory stuff here.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. So human memory. We have different stages of memory. When we first experience stuff, there's actually a pretty short window of when something's going to go into kind of what is called our working memory. So they say
Is that the same as short term?
So that our short term is our working memory. And, that's kind of like your day-to-day stuff. And it's really kind of interesting because our brains, you think about our experience and our senses, our brains kind of filter out what is taken into our memory. So you could, one person could experience one thing and another person could just completely, block it out or whatever if their brain feels like it isn't relevant enough for it to take it in. So that first portion is short period of time. It's like 10 seconds. And then
For me, it's
Wait, what are
3.
we talking about?
so this is like to get into the working memory. This is to get into kind of like the RAM, if you want to think about it in terms of like computing. And once you have that working memory, they say that can last between from minutes to hours. And then we have long-term memory. And that's where I think it gets really interesting. Because if something can get kind of processed and logged into our working memory, we could potentially remember it for the rest of our lives. I don't know if you guys have any memories from like when you're a child.
Oh yeah,
Stuff
like
that
really, really old fuckers.
and just
Old
really
fucking
just
memories.
stands out for some reason.
The
Yep.
dad touches.
Try to forget those, Teddy.
For me, it was
Burning
when my younger
churches is
brother
not the
let go
answer,
of the,
Teddy.
Unleashed the emergency brake in my mom's car and we went rolling down the hill. I remember that. Hey, luckily, it was not a steep hill. We hit the windmill.
Oh wow.
Didn't get cancer.
I remember actually hopping it behind the driver's seat of my mother's car when she went to the grocery store real quick. I hopped behind the driver's seat and fucking tried to go drive in the parking lot. Did not work out well since I hit the car right in front of us.
That's funny.
And it did not work out well for me when we got home either. Whew.
So our memories, one thing that they're finding about these long-term memories especially is it's from the interaction between our brain cells and the connection between specific brain cells. And actually, those get strengthened and they can get recalled again and again. So when we're talking about learning, actually, what's really interesting is you can learn something much better if you have some sort of frame of reference, some sort of prior knowledge. And if you think about memory, it's some sort of connection that you're able to build these structures upon. So you can think about it as almost these things are being recreated. Your memories are being recreated every time that you recall it.
When you think of it, yeah.
Which is kind of really crazy.
Well, and it also becomes its own kind of, interpretation of
Right, exactly.
what happened, like you're
Right.
saying.
So you interpret it differently every single time. It's like you're almost developing a photo or something, every single time, and it's gonna be different, and you can add things to it, and you can subtract things from it. So I think that's really interesting with memory.
That's why eyewitness accounts and crimes are like the worst.
Yeah,
That's
Right?
awesome. Y'all put that in the fucking thread. That's pretty funny.
What are you talking about?
Somebody
I put
typed that
house
shit
in
up.
bed.
Ah, I see it now.
All right. So how would you guys seriously? How would you rank your memory? What do we think about our memory?
God.
Ashtray. What can you remember? Let's start.
What can I remember?
Yes, let's start there.
I sometimes have an uncanny ability with like the first 4 beats of a song where it's like, is this so and so? I'm like, yep, not too bad, not too bad. But then there's things where it's
Like whose turn is it for the show?
well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I can
right.
never.
7 years
Perfect
on.
example.
Like you can never remember whose turn it is.
Is that how long we've been on? 7 years?
Yeah,
Jesus
2012.
Christ. We're getting fucking old, people.
So
Yep.
here's the thing though, Ashtray, can you remember songs from when you were like a teenager?
Like if I were to hear just this, like if I hear it on the, the radio or, someone
Yeah.
playing the jukebox, yeah, I can still, like, not only just songs from a teenager, but even newer songs. I don't know if it's just some kind of a, special
Yeah.
musical hearing where
Maybe
it's
it's the way that your brain is, because I remember music better than I do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can hear an album one time and I can recite probably not recite
like
it,
you
but I can
can
tell you
do it in your
where the
head.
parts are in most of the songs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like I always thought, how they say how terrible solitary confinement is. It's like I would just be fucking singing to myself. Like,
Right.
So you're
Yeah.
like a jukebox.
thinking of all my favorite songs, which would probably be like the first Rage Against the Machine album. Like, and they were not letting
Yeah.
him out.
Still front to back one of the best albums ever created. in my opinion.
Exactly. Cheers to that.
Okay, Teddy, what do you think that you can remember well?
I think my memory is pretty good.
Like generally, is it good or?
I think generally it's pretty good. I mean, mainly because I've been waiting tables for a while and I don't write down orders. So I mean, I still
Wow.
remember people's
Oh,
orders from.
fuck. I wouldn't be able to do that.
I can keep a part up to party 8 in my head and fucking and put it in the computer and stuff. So I mean,
God
it's,
damn.
I've been doing
I'm
it for a
terrible
while.
at
So
that. I've done. I was a waiter for a short period of time, and like I noticed that's why I could not do that, or a bartender. For as much as I like to drink, I would be terrible at it because I can't
Yeah.
keep that shit in my head.
And you would just drink all the
I like
drinks.
having to know.
Yeah, and I drink all
and
the
having to remember. I mean, every restaurant has a. I mean, it's amazing how many restaurants have different ways to make fucking make a margarita or something like that.
Mm.
I mean, it's so you have to remember all those recipes and stuff, and it's different. And just like I've worked in kitchens too, so I remember all those recipes. I mean, I still remember like how to make half the stuff at Macaroni Grill when I worked there. So, I mean,
I could tell you the build order of everything at Hardee's still to
I
this
mean,
day.
yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's probably because we did it so many times for so many years.
Yeah,
but,
it's
Right.
muscle
I mean,
memory. It really
Mhm.
is.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I
actually,
think I'm really.
go ahead,
Oh, go ahead,
Teddy.
you get. I was gonna say for some reason I'm really good at remembering stuff about girlfriends. I don't know why. Kind of creepy, but
So the muscle memory thing, if we talk about these connections with our neurons, we actually strengthen those the more we do something. So your brain actually has it's called neuroplasticity, and it can change the strength of these connections. So the more you do an activity, you're actually reinforcing those connections, and that's why you can, and creating these structures, and that's why you can remember it. Mystic, what do you feel you can remember well?
Music, movies, dialogue, but like honestly, I can't remember if I have an appointment tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
things like that just
Terrible
don't.
schedules.
Yes, I'm horrible with like
yeah, I think, but also
like oh my god, I forgot to do that today, or like it's just like I gotta write all that shit down.
I think
but I
it's
can
tied to stuff
remember-
we like. So
But I can remember the fucking 5th song off of the fucking Ultra Spank CD from 1994. You know what I mean? Like it's called
Ultra
Gravity.
Spank.
But anyway.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Is that the God.
All right,
I still
so
remember all my old video game stuff. It's kind of weird too. It's fucked up.
yeah, video game stuff. Actually, I have this weird thing. I can kind of remember what video games I was playing at certain times of my life. Like I have strong video game memory correlations with
Well,
things
no,
that
I'm
were
not-
going
I'm
on with
talking
like
about-
regular life.
I still
Yeah.
remember patterns from like Sega and Nintendo, like game patterns from then, and I still remember like a lot of games, like the Sonic 2 debug code, all that stuff. I still remember that shit. So it's
Yeah, there'd be
crazy.
things like the multiplayer rooms in GoldenEye. I bet you if I jumped right back in, I would remember exactly which turns to go on and where
Yeah,
to
which
put my
turns to
fucking
take and
proximity
stuff, yeah.
mines. Yeah, 'cause I played that shit so much.
All right, so do you guys know anything about? Do you know the periodic table of elements?
Know it all?
Fuck
No.
no.
Neither-
Let's see.
anything.
Test me. Let's go.
Well,
Bring it, baby,
don't
bring
look anything up. I want to
I'm
show you
My
guys.
phone's right here.
No, don't look anything up. I'm
No,
going to
not
show
that.
you guys something that I've heard about this past week, and I tried it out, and I want to see if it works with you guys. So have you heard of anything called a memory palace before?
Memory Palace?
Yeah,
No.
I have.
Yeah. That's from watching fucking the Cumberbatch show.
Sherlock
with,
Holmes?
Sherlock Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, the first time I heard that though was a professor, a philosophy professor. So I don't know if it was like in a Sherlock Holmes book or something because he said that. I swear to God.
Yep. So
When we
it's actually been around for 2,500 years, the technique.
Oh, okay. That's
So-
yeah. Yeah.
It's an old
Never
palace.
mind.
So I'm going to go ahead and bring up an image here, and I want you to look at that on the stream once it pops up. And we're going to go...
Yeah, they're like,
Bring it down
is this
here.
similar to like people who can recite pi for so many numbers? 3.14, blah, 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 blah,
if
blah,
they
blah.
remember the
What's
numbers...
up, Nick?
So
I guess, or yeah,
If
I was
we-
just thinking the people who do the element, or,
right.
oh, here. Never
So
mind.
this is a physical place
Okay.
that we are going to imagine traversing through this place, okay? So it starts up at 1 here, goes like this, 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 up here, goes down, here, 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 and here.
Again, the order of the numbers.
Okay. Yep. In the order of the numbers. So you just kind of imagine yourself walking through down the stairs and kind of looking at these different things here. All right. So the way this works is you pick a physical spot like this, and you assign each spot has its own kind of image that you assign to that place. Okay? So, for instance, number 1, the first element, the first location is hydrogen. Okay? And when
Yeah.
we think of hydrogen, we can think of the sun. All right? So I want you to imagine yourself up here at the top of the stairs, and the first thing you run into is just kind of this glowing sun thing.
And then we burn up and die. So
You
this
don't,
is kinda creepy.
you don't burn up and die.
Yeah.
You keep on going, okay? So the sun. So you think about that, imagine the sun is the first thing. Second thing, over here on the side, see how there's this thing on the side here, kind of like this, I don't know, some sort of
This little wall.
wall thing that's sticking
Yeah.
out.
There's a delay on our end, but
Okay.
yeah, number 2, you talking about?
Okay, yes. Number 2, helium. So I want you to imagine a helium balloon.
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay.
Okay.
Helium balloon. So 1 is the sun, 2
Two
is
is
a
helium
balloon.
balloon.
All right. 3 is lithium. Okay. So I want you to imagine a lithium
Cell
battery
phone battery.
rolling down that stair, right down the middle of the stairs. Okay.
Mhm.
Number 4 is
Go through all
beryllium.
15 of these.
Beryllium. When we think of
Beryllium.
beryllium, we can think of a berry smeared on the wall where number 4 is. Okay.
Okay.
So you got hydrogen, helium, lithium, and beryllium.
Yep.
Okay.
Number 5, boron. Okay. So a boron, we can think of a boar. So you can think of like a little pig, a little boar down here at the foot of the stairs. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's just let's walk through these first steps. So 1 is the
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
sun, the hydrogen. 2 is the
Helium.
helium. It's a balloon. 3 is the
Lithium.
lithium. It's the
Lithium.
battery rolling down. 4 is
Beryllium.
Beryllium, it's
yeah,
a
beryllium.
berry smeared on the wall. 5 is
Boron.
The pig.
boron, it's the pig.
Oh, yeah.
Boron.
Okay. 6 is carbon. So you can imagine a car going right off this ledge here, like a little toy car.
Us being carbon.
Okay,
Mhm.
carbon.
Car, yes.
So it's-
All right.
Everything goes with death now. Can't eat any of this stuff.
7, we have like the seat here. We can say it is nitrogen. A knight is sitting here. Okay, so there's a knight, a dark knight sitting here on this seat. All right. 8 is oxygen. Oxygen can be an oxygen tank. All right, like scuba diving. 9 is fluorine. So think of toothpaste with fluoride. So imagine cleaning that window with a toothbrush and fucking fluoride and toothpaste. 10 is neon. So imagine a neon sign being smashed on the floor right there. Okay? So let's go ahead and go from 1 to 10. So we have 1,
Hydrogen,
hydrogen, it's the sun. 2,
helium,
helium, it's the balloon. 3,
lithium,
lithium, it's the battery rolling down. 4,
beryllium.
beryllium, it's the
Yeah.
berry. 5,
The pig.
5 was
boron.
boron.
Yep, it's the pig. 6,
I wasn't listening.
6 is the car.
Six.
car,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
carbon. Right. 7,
Nitrogen.
The night.
nitrogen, it's the night. 8,
What?
Shit, I can't remember.
so scuba diver.
So somebody
Oh,
else.
oxygen.
Oxygen, it's the oxygen tank.
Oxygen.
9,
Go. 9 is
fluoride.
toothbrush.
toothbrush, fluorine. Use fluoride,
Fluorine.
right? Fluorine. 10,
Neon.
neon. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, so
Boom.
11, imagine sodium. Imagine
Now,
a salt shaker.
Let me interrupt for a second. Are
Yes.
we actually going 1, 2, 3, 4 through the periodic
Yes,
table?
you are remembering the first. You have already remembered the first 10 periodic tables or elements on the periodic table. Okay, so 11. Imagine a salt shaker going out of this little window here. So that's sodium.
Sodium.
Sodium is Na on the periodic table.
Great.
Not available.
So we're not talking about their
Right.
Well, we're learning periodic table, but my mind is going
Yeah,
through
right.
both of them. What the fuck to tell you?
Stick with this, Teddy.
I'm with you, Ted.
All right.
Can't. My mind is too crazy.
12.
Too powerful to contain.
So 12 is
Oh, baby.
magnesium. So imagine one of those magnesium fire starter things like Bear Grylls would have. Okay, so that's
Which
in
number
this.
is that?
That's 12. So
12.
11
What was
is
11? Shit.
sodium.
11 was sodium. Yeah,
11,
12 is
so 11 is the salt shaker. 12 is the fire starter. That's magnesium.
magnesium.
Okay. 13. Imagine this wrapped with aluminum. This pot of flowers here. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
aluminium.
And
Aluminum.
14 is silicon. All right. So silicon,
Silicon Valley.
imagine a pile of computer chips off in these, whatever this bush is. here.
Tossed into this bush.
Yep, tossed in this bush.
I swear, these are some stretches, but okay.
In
You
15,
wasteful son of a bitch.
we have Fozzie Bear, which is phosphorus.
Wait, is that 14 or 15? Is
Fif-
5
fif- 15 is
15 is
Fozzie Bear, which is phosphorus. Okay, so let's go. Let's do these last ones here. So 11 is
Salt shaker.
salt
11 is
shaker,
sodium.
sodium. 12 is
Magnesium.
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 Right, we're starting the fire like Bear Grylls. 13 is
Aluminum foil.
aluminum foil. 14 is
Computer chips.
computer chips, silicon, and 15 is
A bear.
Fozzie Bear,
phosphorus.
phosphorus. Okay, now who thinks they can go through 1 through 15?
Nobody.
Not me.
I could try.
Okay, Mystic,
Try it,
let's see if you
Mystic.
can do it.
All right.
Yes, it would.
Hydrogen,
Mhm.
helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Hold on, I got this one. Fluorine.
Yes.
Is it fluoride or
Yes,
fluorine?
fluorine.
Fluorine. Yep.
Fluorine. Neon.
Yep.
Sodium. magnesium, aluminum. Fuck, what is that one? Silicon and phosphorus.
Boom.
Ah, damn. Impressive.
All right.
Yeah.
I just remembered the images. Not
I wouldn't have been able to do it if I wasn't staring at this image.
Yeah.
So that actually does work. It's weird.
It's amazing, right? How
what do
it
they
works.
call it? Is that a mnemonic device?
Yes.
No, mnemonic devices. Oh,
Yep.
is that what it is?
Yep.
Now, though, if you were to ask to recall them without this picture,
I could do it for you right now. And
Yeah, you've done this like 18 times already.
Yeah, right?
But I just did it right before we got on the call. And this is something that I have no interest in whatsoever.
Could you do it 2 weeks from now?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Okay, we need to
maybe,
test.
yeah, I mean,
set a
that's a good-
timer. Set a timer
2 weeks
for 2 weeks.
2 weeks from now. Wait, what's the No, just do, 2 weeks to be fucking ashtray show. So.
Yeah.
Okay,
Stephanie is
ask me
right.
if I can do it.
credit Animaniacs with my ability to remember the periodic table.
Oh,
I
yeah.
credit them with my ability to remember the countries in the world.
That's true.
Remember that song they had?
That song, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so just a couple other ways to possibly help your memory. Some of these are more proven than others. Eat a bunch of berries. I say
Eat a bunch of berries, like just
Yeah.
a handful of berries, and all of a sudden you're a little smarter
Like
for the day.
acai berries or whatever.
Well, this was funded by the California Strawberry Commission.
Oh,
So-
of course. It's just like that woman with the
It's not real.
fucking Beef Magazine article.
A Beef
idiot.
Magazine.
I think if
Cows don't
women-
cause any methane.
Women just suck more dicks, funded by the Mystic Foundation. I think their memories will be better.
Exercise helps, supposedly. Chewing gum.
What?
Yeah. Possibly. These are
Possibly.
possible. So
Well,
the,
I mean,
the memory palace thing really works. There was a journalist who was doing a story on the memory palace. He had a terrible memory. He did
Is
it
that
for
what
a
that memory
year.
palace was, that picture we just did? That was the
Well,
memory palace?
it is an example of doing it. You could make your own place or take any other place. But the journalist that was doing it, he did it for a year. He ended up being the champion, the world memory champion 1 year later after
How do you-
fucking working on that.
What is that, like a Jeopardy quiz or
It's
what?
some kind of nerd battle thing that they do. You know,
Sure,
there's
yeah. There's
fucking nerd shit.
I guess I kind of get the gum chewing one because I think what it does is it creates it makes your mind not think about
Other shit?
simpler shit. Like okay, I had a
Is it kind of like a
band
meditative
teacher.
part of your brain?
When I
is
first
being
started band, I started with the French horn. And
You
the
would.
French horn, if you play the double horn, has a lot of different fucking fingering movements. So what the teacher would do, and this was the same for like trumpets and shit like that. Once you learned, if you were the first chair, once you learned the music, he would take away the music. Because when you're not reading it, your mind has one less thing to do. So I wonder if that's like what it is. It's like you're kind of focusing on something else. You know what I mean? I guess that's the opposite though, because you're doing something else.
Well,
Well, I can see it as being a part of occupying that part of your brain that wants to stray.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
keeps
exactly.
that in
In your
check.
brain, like if there's a part in the piece that you're kind of iffy on and you can't really hit the notes and you don't think that you can do it, it's a confidence thing too. Like you're playing along, all of a sudden that part's there and you didn't think about it ahead of time and you nail it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's kind of like it just takes one less thing for your brain to do so it can focus on what it's doing. It's just a concentration thing, I guess.
They also think that you might be getting more oxygen when you're chewing gum, so that could potentially
So
help.
fucking stupid. Well, it reminds me. Yeah, right. Like you were saying, how our brains filter out. I can't remember what part of the brain it is, but there's they're like, oh, you only use 10% of your brain. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's bullshit. You use all your brain,
Yeah.
but it may
Just
be
not
that.
at the same exact time.
Right.
Well, it may be that you're whittling. I even argue that like you do use it all at the same time. You don't realize it though, but it's your perception of your senses. You're getting information from every sense, all at once. But your brain's job, as far as like, what do I want to focus on? What do I need to remember? It whittles away a lot of those distractions.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes like a chewing gum or like a toothpick in your mouth, something like it's like a fidget thing where it kind of helps distract that stray meandering part of your brain.
Yeah, until you bite your tongue off.
Same concept as a fidget spinner.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Yeah,
fucking
right?
smoke
ADD.
meth before you fucking chew the gum.
Yeah, right. Oh, shit.
That's
All right.
the only way to chew gum. Who doesn't smoke meth when they chew gum?
Meth and bubble
Jesus
gum.
Christ. Meth and Bubblicious. That
I
is the
swear
shit.
those polar ice ones have meth crystals in them. They're like,
So one that I guess isn't surprising is sleep can help with your memory. I think
Really?
that's hell yeah.
Well, yeah, the more sleep you get, the
Yeah,
better.
the more sleep. They actually had people take naps, and then they had another group not take naps, and the group that took naps was able to remember better because your memory consolidation happens when you're sleeping. So it takes that working memory and it puts it together and it forms it into the long-term memory while you're
like
sleeping.
what's worth saving, what's
Yeah.
not.
So your dreams and things like that, that's what's going on. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you for playing along with my little exercise here. And don't forget to test me in 2 weeks, and we'll see if I can still remember the first 15. And
Oh, yeah, the elements.
Everybody remember. I didn't
Everybody
make a thing. I
remember.
want to see.
Travis,
I didn't make a thing
remember.
on my phone because I want to see if
I
we
can
can all
still
remember the
remember
testing.
the longest word in the English language.
What is it?
Supercalifragilistic?
No,
Nope.
it's a
What is
anti-establishmentarianism.
No,
Whatever.
that's the second.
Oh, really?
It's
The
second
longest
now?
is ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
Is that a
fuck is that?
disease?
It is microscopic silicon causing cancer cells from volcanoes.
Damn.
Goddamn volcano cancer cells.
Yeah.
Fucking windmills causing cancer. Volcanoes causing
Volcanoes
cancer.
got
Fucking
cancer.
windmills.
It's everywhere.
Okay.
Is there anything in that your research about is it ginkgo biloba, the supplement people
Ginseng?
take for memory? I said ginseng was more for energy.
Honestly, there were a lot of bullshit fucking articles.
Yeah.
You know, things that
Right,
are
like
trying
the
to
one
get...
that suggested gum helps you get more oxygen.
Yeah,
Or berries.
because
Paid
one
for
thing,
by the strawberries.
Yeah.
as you get older,
Yes,
so
it's
you
well from
you
50%.
have the same amount of neurons when you're born. That's all you fucking get, and by
Right.
the time you get older, you don't have as many as you did when you were younger.
Yeah.
So you are going to be losing some sort of memory
Mental
and
faculty.
cognitive capacity. But what they're finding is, the neuroplasticity that I was talking about. We can actually strengthen certain areas to compensate for those other areas that we missed out. But you better believe when there's, when it comes down to, oh my God, I'm trying to, keep my youth, keep my mental faculties. That's a lot of money. And that means a
There was
lot
a-
of bullshit that you're going to
Is there
find.
anybody remember that? There was that DS game. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, yeah,
but
I
it was to
had
help.
that shit.
It was to help that
all the
neuroplasticity
elderly were
stuff.
using it. Yeah.
It would test you and everything and keep track of how good your memory and stuff was. It was a pretty cool little game.
Brain games or something?
Yeah, I think was it called Brain Game? I can't remember the name
There's
of
a
it. But it was,
show called Brain Games, which is
Oh.
actually really cool. My wife uses it in her class, the third graders and shit.
Yeah, I find that stuff is interesting and kind of fun.
All right, I got a question for everyone. If you were able to have the ability of what do they call it? A photographic memory,
Hmm.
would you choose it, or would you think it wouldn't worth it? Because like part of me thinks that like there are certain things in my past that, like, I'm glad those memories are starting to fade away. Like, I don't want to think about that shit in any more detail than I already do.
Well, I guess would you have control over when you thought about these things, or?
Well, I'm just thinking if you were a person with photographic memory, like it could be like, the day my ex dumped me, like I remember I ordered the Bob's Big Slammin' breakfast, and I had a Bloody Mary, and then she left without the like you could remember all these details, which I think would only reaffirm the memories you're trying to forget.
I would want it, but that's because I love to win arguments. And nobody could ever be.
Every 2 weeks.
They'd be like, "Well, I remember it like this." Would be like, "Well, the truth is."
Well, and then you get into that argument of, like you were saying before, when you recall memories, they're always a little bit different.
Oh yeah,
right.
And
my brother, she just sent me a link. It's called Brain Age.
Oh, Brain Age.
Braden.
Yeah.
Brain, yeah.
That shit was fun.
That fact of recalling memories and how recalling the memories changes slightly the memory, and then when you have different people in that same event, you then create. It's like you have different realities. And a lot of people kind of don't accept that fact that like other people can have a different reality than you. And sometimes
they're called
like
Republicans.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if those Republicans ever like get their shit together, they got to realize that they're not the only ones around.
I think our brains remember more than we can sometimes tap into.
Mm-hmm.
Because like after my wife passed, I was remembering shit. Like I can remember I can remember us sitting on the porch, or whatever, like what it smelled like outside with the sun on my skin and stuff. It was kind of weird, like the stuff I was remembering. Like like I would walk in and get a sniff or smell or something. I remember us walking around like a pastry shop in France or something.
Yeah.
And like I can remember what people walking on the street, fucking what we were wearing, things like that. And I didn't think I could remember shit like that. I think our minds we don't fully understand how our memories work. I mean, we do have some understanding of how our memories work, but I mean, sometimes like it's like shit gets triggered. You just don't,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a perfume that one of my ex-girlfriends wore that I probably at least half dozen times since. Like I'll be walking, like that scent hits, and it's like, oh my god, you turn your head around.
Yeah.
Whoa, no, that's not her,
so
but that smells just like her.
Nice.
Yep.
Tiggle bitties.
Nice discussion. Okay, so we're moving on to what's
Send me a
sexy
picture of Tiggle bitties.
and Murder Mountain.
Murder
Mystic.
Mountain.
What's up with that?
So it's a 6-part documentary series on Netflix. It's done kind of like what was that one that Genius one? That Ashtray that you saw, remember that? Where the dude,
Evil
the fucking
Genius?
collar bomb? Yeah,
Collar
Evil
bomber?
Genius. It's like that, where each episode, like at the end, there's like a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? They're like one episode, this chick's like, "Oh, I saw this poster when I was walking by. I felt really bad because I knew what happened to that boy and his parents didn't." And then it just ends, and I'm like, "You motherfuckers! Now I have to watch another one." But it's like, okay, so the whole thing centers around Humboldt County, which is in Northern California. It is, it supplies about 80% of the illegal pot trade in the United States.
Damn.
Is there just a shit ton of woods that they can hide all this in?
Yeah, there's basically a wall it's called the Redwood Wall. Once you hit Humboldt County, it's basically a canopy of redwood trees that you can't see through. And all kinds of nefarious shit goes down. It's basically outlaw hillbillies in the
California
fucking hills
style.
in the mountains of California. Yeah, so they're like hippies basically. They were. That's the thing. Like it cuts in between present day shit with legalization and the effect that that's had, and then like how it started. These hippies basically came up there back in the day and fucking started communes, and they started growing pot and found out that they could make money off of it. So obviously it became a cash crop, and it's just really interesting.
So was it
and it's
all
done-
peaceful, and then like the
No, it's called
fucking
Murder Mountain.
No, it was probably worse.
It's called Murder Mountain now.
Yeah, right.
It
Oh, okay.
more was like just a community of people Like the cops just kind of left them alone. They did their thing. The cops knew what was going on, but it was
Kind of
so
like
hard.
Appalachian hillbillies.
It was so hard to catch them because before there was helicopters, and before, like, in the 80s when all the, war on drugs happened back in the 60s and shit, like, they would see the cops coming from miles away. It's on a mountain, you know what I mean? So, like, you could see the dust trails and shit. They just fucking run, so they never got caught. But nowadays it's a lot different, obviously. But yeah, because it's called Murder Mountain now because
Some people
since legalization, the price of weed has gone down so much that there's more crime surrounding it because people are trying to make money. You know what I mean? So people are getting offed. Fucking, they're stealing other people's crops and shit.
Oh.
And now all these, like, the cartels are getting in on fucking buying up land in this area.
Wow.
And fucking biker gangs and shit like that. And with that type of shit comes
Interesting. So legalization's
some
actually
shit.
increased the crime?
yeah, it kind of had the reverse of what it needed. But you'd have to watch the documentary to get all the details. We could sit here for hours and discuss it. But it's cool. And actually, there was one of the reasons that it started becoming Murder Mountain was in the I think it was the late 60s. So the growers up there would hire these transient people or hippies and shit to come in and trim weed for them. They'd pay them by the pound. Well, this couple that they hired back in the 60s, these people, they were just like a normal hippie couple, right? But what these people didn't know is that at night they would go out and they were fucking serial killers.
What?
They would go out and murder people and, like, do sacrifices and all kinds of weird shit.
Fuck?
Yeah, like, they got caught in the 60s or 70s. I forgot their name. I'll focus on that. That's one of the big ones that blew my mind when I saw it.
Is that in the Murder Mountain series?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
It's fucking crazy. The whole documentary is cool because it's live footage that they're used now, or not live, but shot today, interspersed with, like, reenactments of what happened back in the day, but it looks the same. So, like, it's almost like you're lost in this, like, well, what the fuck's going on now? It's almost like a drama. It's really cool. It's really well created, I guess.
Cool. And that's on Netflix?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. I finally...
So
made
they,
the
like,
Netflix jump.
like, have sit-down interviews with the people today and present, and then they have reenactments of what they're talking about?
Yep. And they also have footage of, grow operations today that are happening right now and shit, But that looks the same as the reenactment stuff, which is kind of weird.
Cool. Well, next up, there is me.
And before I forgot, we need to make sure that...
Bitch.
What's sexy?
Oh, it's interrupted is sexy.
Oh,
Sponsored by our new mascot.
That's right, our new mascot. What's our
Nibbles.
Nibbles?
Nibbles no more.
Well, now it's Nibbles no more.
Bad. I'm seriously, like, we're just waving this dead mouse around.
Oh, come on.
And then you wonder why you can't
classy.
get a girl over at your house.
He doesn't even have a tail.
Fucking shit.
Doesn't have a tail. What the hell happened to its tail?
I don't know. It doesn't.
Who cares, man?
Is it a male?
Jesus.
I think it's a female. There's some
Is that a female? I can't see.
big old bitties on there.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Big
See,
old-
then you wonder why no girls want to come to my house. I wonder why.
I have never
Look
cried
what
about
look my trap card. Look what I got here for you, baby.
I am better off.
Jesus Christ.
That's funny.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Only at the
shit.
radio report, motherfuckers.
so
Ashtray's house, motherfuckers.
Nibbles no more.
Nibbles? No.
it's got to have like a Faith No More fucking soundtrack.
God.
So
And he still got to sit on his lap. He ain't even thrown it away yet. Jesus Christ.
put that thing in the microwave and fuck it later.
Oh, gross.
Anyway, I had the opportunity to try scuba diving.
I'm sorry, Travis.
Yeah.
Because it looks
Sure.
like the Unabomber lives there. It's not the mouse.
I had
Oh, my
the
God.
opportunity
Touche.
Try.
to try scuba diving this
Oh, no
past
shit?
weekend. Yeah. So there was kind of like a crash course kind of thing at the pool, and you got to use the equipment and learn how to use that, and fucking, it was badass.
Weird.
It
Like, I guess I've only snorkeled, but like I get that weird kind of like my body doesn't want to try to breathe underwater.
You
like,
know,
this isn't right.
I thought there was going to be more of that, but as soon as you go under and you do that first one, you're just like, oh, this fucking works. And it just works. You breathe normally. Really, the biggest thing that takes a lot to get used to is, at least for me, it was kind of the buoyancy, because you have air and you're letting air out and adding air from your tank in order to change the buoyancy when you're in the water. So
Wait, you're adding air to your tank?
no, you're adding air to the vest. You have like this fucking bubble of air that you can regulate, and that's how you go up and down.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's why
scuba-
that shit.
Yeah,
comes
that's
I
why it
didn't
goes
know
up
that.
and down, and you have lead weights that will take you
pull
down.
you down.
Yeah, pull you down to
But
the bottom.
then when you inflate it, is it
You go
enough
up.
to pull you up?
Yep.
So you don't have to like drop your weights or anything.
No. And
Oh,
that
so
was-
it's like a ballast
yeah.
in a way. I didn't know that. That's
Yep.
cool.
It's not like a ballast. It's a ballast.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Right.
So I think I'm actually gonna try to get my open water certification this summer.
That's
Nice.
cool.
So I don't know. It's kind of a cool thing. I like snorkeling, just going out and
Say-
exploring and shit like that. This will fucking take that
It's
to a whole nother
probably,
level.
Probably
I
pretty
will say,
calming, huh?
Yeah, it
Oh, man.
it's not as physical as I thought it was going to be. It's a pretty. You're supposed to just kind of take it easy and just think
Yep.
and
Yeah,
really keep
conserve your
track
energy.
of what the fuck's going on. So yeah, it was pretty chilled out, and you just kind of have a lot of time to just kind of think and observe.
I will say,
I'm always
good luck to you
fascinated
if
by
you do
the
your
people.
open water thing. But if you get ate by a shark, the black man told you so.
You in the
Is
shot's
right.
house.
Yeah.
Man, well, of
how
course, a
clear-
fucking barracuda almost bit Travis's fucking foot off.
Yeah.
You're
It's
cursed with
the
animals,
What is
dude.
it with this
Animals
dude
all
and
want
animals?
a piece of Travis.
Like, he doesn't own pit bulls, does he? Because I'm kind of worried.
No.
Dude, I am never going to a zoo with you because something's gonna get out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Fucking around.
Oh, Travis is here. Let's
Girls
go.
are
Shit.
loose. Oh shit.
Shit.
Speaking of scuba diving, though, I'm fascinated by the job of recovery divers.
Hmm.
After seeing that, remember that live leak video where the recovery diver found a guy still alive in that boat under the
Oh
sea?
yeah, that was
Oh, yeah,
fucking
yeah.
terrifying.
Yes. And granted, like, that's a super, super rare chance, but when he's not finding live people, he's 99.99% of the time finding dead bodies under
Well,
the,
Oh
and like
yeah, yeah.
recovering
Just
them.
nasty
What a-
bloated dead bodies.
Remember,
It's
we
like-
were talking about something in here, and Donnie had mentioned how he had volunteered, and they found that like old lady or whatever, and when they tried to grab her, her skin just peeled off like
Yeah.
chicken.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be
That's where-
doing that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just fucking, chill out, look at some fucking
I
fish.
remember that story he told us too when he was in SEAL training, and he's like, he came up for air or some shit, and he's like, something's down there. And he's like, there's a lot of shit down there, and just pushed him back under. Like, dude, I'm not going back down there with it. What do you? Fuck that.
Yeah. Scuba diving seems so, like, intimidating
There's
to
a
me.
lot of shit down there.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I want to do it, because that's really how I was feeling. But after I tried it, I was like, well, this equipment stuff really isn't that bad. And you're kind of just taking your time. And really the fear is when I'm outside of the water and I'm looking in, and it's really dark and it's really blue
Yeah.
and you don't know what the fuck is in there. I kind of wonder what that's going to be like when you're in it.
It's gonna be
Here's a
terrifying
question.
because
What-
you're not gonna see something coming till it's 3 feet in front of you, and then it's gonna be too fucking late.
Well, that's
What,
my next
you-
question. How clear is
Okay.
the water in Rhode Island?
It's
Well, you're in
not
a pool.
that clear.
Oh, you were in a pool?
Yeah, I was in a pool. They don't
Oh,
let you go.
okay.
They don't let you go out into the open water until you get
Yeah.
the
Oh,
training.
see, I'm
and
thinking
shit.
there's real danger
what you're
involved in
fucking
shit. You're like at 15 feet of water.
What
Fuck
the
you.
what the fuck, dude?
Dude, I can get to the bottom of a 15-foot pool without fucking scuba gear on. I thought you're on the ocean and shit. You fucking pussy. Move on. What's next? Who's next?
I didn't
What
have
the
the
fuck?
fucking option, you fucking dickhead.
So how do you breathe with the mask? Is it a constant airflow, or is there like
No,
you squeeze your mouth with
when
it and then
when
let
you
air in?
breathe, the fucking air goes in, and when you breathe out, the bubbles go out.
Really?
Yeah, it just works. It's like you're breathing
Just
underwater.
Keep in mind, at any given time,
Crazy.
he just popped out and done like this and got to the top of the water because he's in a pool.
Whatever, Teddy.
Eddie, you're fucking probably scared of swimming. Shut the fuck up. You wouldn't.
I swim
I
great.
swim.
I just don't
Oh,
go in the
swim.
ocean.
Bullshit.
I swim great. I just don't go in the ocean. I swim in pools. Fucking
Why?
fine.
Why? I mean, come on.
Because
You're really
look, I
scared.
don't.
Sharks kill like 5 people a year, and most of them.
Yeah,
are
they
in
do. And those
Australia.
5 people were in the ocean.
Yeah.
If I don't go in the ocean,
Dude,
I-
nothing wants to fuck with a scuba diver because you're blowing bubbles out. You'd probably look like a fucking crazy.
Not
Bubbly
How
too
would
sure.
you know?
beast.
You're in a pool.
Yeah. Worst you got to worry about is a toddler.
Well, now this motivates me even more to get that fucking open water certification. Thanks, Teddy.
Okay,
The worst you got to worry about is a
Teddy.
toddler. This was awesome.
Eddie.
I'm sorry. What?
On
What?
average, 10 people die every day from pools.
Damn.
Okay.
Swimming
In
pools are
one day,
dangerous.
that's twice the number of people that die from sharks every year.
True.
Awesome.
And you're telling me that pools are safer than fucking the ocean? Give me a break, dude.
No, I said
You're
I'm
just being-
better. I
you're
said
just
I'm
fear-mongering.
better in pools than ocean.
Okay. All right.
Look,
Next.
fuck your
Next up.
fake science
Watch out for the
statistics, man.
toothpick fish.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
What is a toothpick?
Goes up
I don't know.
your
That's
dick
a
hole.
Tasha LePage saying.
Tasha LePage. She's from Germany. Let's give it up for our Germany fans.
She's not from Germany.
That's what it says.
She's from
Marshall.
Marshfield.
Shows up your piss stream
From
right into
Berlin,
your
Germany.
penis hole.
Oh my God! What?
All right.
Called the urethra, Tasha. Get it
Moving on to fucking
She's German.
ashtray.
Give her a break. It's probably lost in translation.
Yeah.
Ashtray in this fucking Ventian.
Mention.
Germans
Bring up
know
the
what
webpage
urethras
on the
are.
screen there.
Okay, it's
I
up.
won't
Yes, it-
spend a whole lot of time, but this is just this company I found where you can basically make your own custom factory assemblies. This is something that I probably
wow.
wouldn't use until I got like an actual like warehouse space with my light. But I love the idea that it's like they just have like hundreds of these kind of standard parts, almost like an erector set. And in their CAD program, you select from all the different parts you can use, and you just put them where you need them. You build this machine. Like what it can do anything from like be a basic conveyor belt. You can actually build a huge format 3D printer. It looks like limitless possibilities. But at the same time, it's standardized enough that the cost is more reasonable than hiring a company to build one completely from scratch.
So what are we talking here for?
We're still
cost?
talking like that machine there, like this big one might be like $5,000-$6,000.
But what does it do? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But yeah, when you think about a custom,
You can make it do whatever you want, Teddy. That's the thing.
yeah, that's the thing. is
that's
it's-
okay.
We got
like,
a YouTube video here of it.
Yeah, the basically you get to pick from the parts, and virtually you build it, and then when you're done, you give the order to them, and they'll cut all those those like beams, and then they also put all the supporting brackets that you've picked out, and they send it all to you in a package to then basically build your own machine without having to have the kind of tools you would need to cut that kind of extruded metal and all those brackets and stuff. I don't know how long they've been around. It's just something I came across recently because I was browsing industrial equipment for my Willy Wonka factory, and This is something that I think is really cool, but I probably wouldn't get into it till I had a dedicated space, because right now I make them in my kitchen.
Okay, so here's a question. How many people do you think look at this and they're like, oh man, that's so fucking cool, and they make a completely useless machine that does nothing?
Right? They spend like $1,000 on a conveyor belt, and it's like, look it takes things from here to there. And like that's it for
Just has beer sitting out your window like in the cold. You hit the conveyor belt and it just brings one in for you.
Yeah.
I guess if you have
paid
the
a
money,
grand for that.
All right, that is pretty cool. Teddy, what about Assassin's Creed? What's going on with that shit?
So the Assassin's Creed, they're going to use the Assassin's Creed, the chick who designed the Notre Dame in Assassin's Creed Unity, Caroline Mios or whatever her name is. They're talking about using her, all of her architecture from that game to try to rebuild to use it in the rebuilding of the Notre Dame since it's burned down. I don't know how many games you played of Assassin's Creed. They do try to stay true to the cities and stuff. They get for the time period, they try to get it mapped from that city and stuff like that. There's in Brotherhood, you've got the in part 2 in Brotherhood stuff. You got when you go to Florence and Venice, the churches in the streets look like it did back then.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, playing Assassin's Creed 2 actually helped me get back to my hotel in Florence, Italy. When I got
Really?
Yeah, because we stayed in the old part of Florence, and when I knew fucking it was this wall and then the big fucking church in the middle with the big orange fucking thing. I knew what street my fucking hotel was, and I was like, hey, you go down here, you got the statues over here, and go, and yeah, I got back to my hotel that way. It's fucking dope.
That is pretty
but
cool.
I mean, it's and if you've ever played Unity and walked around the Notre Dame, it looks actually true to life. It's fucking awesome. The inside looks fucking retarded because it you know. I mean, yeah, because inside it's like kind of like a puzzle. You got to get something in the game. But the outside looks just like it does in real life, and it's fucking. And so they're talking about using, because she went over 1,000 pictures, trying to get it 1,000 pictures, all the stones and stuff, to try to get it as true to life as it was back then. And it looks fucking awesome in the game.
There was that professor as well, like from New York or something, that did those laser scans, like I think in 2014 or something. And apparently he's dead. I don't know if he died of cancer or what, but like he's the only person who ever did that. That thing's been around for fucking ever, and someone decided, well, maybe we should laser scan this, you know?
Well, I mean, how long is fucking laser scan technology been around?
Maybe the last 10 years, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly. Because that's the first thing you think of when you get laser scanning technology.
Yeah.
Let's go to Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
This fucking super old church. And laser
Screw
scan.
all these other monuments.
Of course, if you're
But yeah, I thought there's
kicking around with that shit, you probably have a lot of weird fucking things you want to do with your laser.
I can think of some weird things to do with my laser.
I bet you can, you sick mouse dangling son bitch.
All right.
Sick mouse danglers.
Moving on. Fuck what you think. This is where we tell you to go fuck yourself and other people to go fuck themselves. Teddy,
Fuck yourselves.
dick or dicks with spoilers?
Okay, so some asshole fucking in a private screening, somebody recorded 5 minutes of the new Avengers Endgame movie, and then leaked it onto the internet.
Oh.
And I don't these people I don't understand why people don't have the patience. I mean, I want to see the movie as bad as anybody else. I don't understand why you don't have the patience to let the shit come out. Same thing I turned my phone off. I close on Sunday nights now, so I don't get to watch what's that show, the Game of Thrones. When it comes on, I have to wait till I get off work. You know, I don't get home like midnight, so I have to turn my phone off, and not turn my phone off, but just don't look at Facebook and shit, because people will start when I'm like, don't spoil it for people. Let them fucking let a day go by at least before you start talking shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Let the day end. Oh yeah, watch it. Yeah, but I mean, it's yeah, but I mean, I watched it. I watched it the night of.
These people have patience.
Well, I'm not talking about like hayride type. I mean, I'm gonna see the movie within a week of it coming out. The episode, I mean, like when the episode comes on at 9:00 and it goes off at 10. I mean, people are immediately like spoiling shit for people who hadn't seen it yet, because maybe people are, like I said, I'm at work, I don't get to see it till like 12:00. So I mean, like on Facebook and shit. I'm like, why?
Maybe
why don't
you
why
should
not?
have the self-control to not go on
not watch
Facebook.
it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I just said. I turned my fucking phone off.
But
Didn't
you
hear what I
watched
said?
it.
Yeah, I watched it when I got home from work that night.
Why?
You guys are talking about two different things. Ashtray's
This is
asking if you
hilarious.
watched the video spoiler that they made, and you're
Oh
talking
no,
about
no,
the episode.
no! I didn't watch that. No, I thought you meant. I thought you were talking about fucking. Okay, I'm like,
Oh,
what the
okay.
fuck?
That's why I
No,
was laughing so hard. I'm like,
Jesus Christ Almighty!
like, did you watch
no, I
it?
didn't.
I'm
No,
like,
no,
Teddy's
no,
like
I
a
didn't watch it.
crackhead, just like, oh, for
Right.
5 minutes.
No, I didn't watch a spoiler. I didn't watch the video for 5 minutes because it's just 5 fucking minutes. But I mean, I just don't like people who fucking don't have the patience to let everybody else see it. I mean, you don't have to be like hayride and wait 2 years to see the fucking shit. I mean, by
Some
then,
people are just
yeah, fucking-
assholes. That's all there is to it, man.
It's
Well, I do get that, yeah. But
Sometimes
this,
I wonder too, though, are some of these leaks like that? Are they actually orchestrated by the studio? Or it's like, well,
well, didn't they
What
let
about-
like
just
Game
to
of
get hype?
Thrones? Didn't they just let that shit get pirated like a motherfucker for years? Because it's like, well, people are interested in it. They're buying
Well, it
shit.
does-
We're
Yeah,
getting market
still in
share.
Australia, you could they don't have any anti-pirating laws
Mm-hmm.
in Australia. So basically everyone just fucking pirates shit. Like the websites that they have there for pirating are way better, I guess. It's my sister and my brother-in-law were telling me. They're like, yeah, we don't have HBO. We just download everything, and it's all perfect, fucking HD quality shit.
they live
Like,
in
it's just-
Australia?
yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
they live in Melbourne.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just fuck assholes who want to spoil shit for everybody. I mean, I probably won't see it the weekend it comes out, but I will see it the weekend after. But I mean, it's, you know, I'm not gonna be hayride and not see shit for 2 years. Like, don't spoil it for me. I don't. I'm like, it's the shit's on TNT now. If you don't watch it by now, you fucking you're just not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
That's my fuck. What you think? Fucking dicks trying to spoil shit for everybody.
Fucking
Nice.
spoiled dick.
Don't do
You
it.
said spoilers. I thought you meant like spoilers, like the shit on like shitty
on
spoilers on the
cars?
back of cars and shit. Like some asshole putting a spoiler on his fucking neon.
They still make spoilers?
Motherfucker,
Hey,
that
man.
thing ain't going fast enough for that spoiler to work. Shut up.
Hey man, this
Get the
spoiler
fuck
by
out.
neon was sweet. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Teddy was a fucking asshole. He was one of the assholes with spoilers.
No, I didn't have spoilers on my car, so.
Thank
Well, my
God.
Mazda had a spoiler on it, but it came with it, so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
go on. Fuck
Next up, we have haircut mind
yeah.
fuck. So I got myself a haircut today.
That's a good band name.
That is a
Right?
good
It's like a
band.
weird
Haircut.
album
Mind
title.
fuck.
Haircut.
And I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to look at the mirror when they're cutting my hair. I don't like
Yeah.
to watch them doing it, and I don't like looking at my own expression in the mirror.
So what do you look at? Their hands, or what
I
what
try to
do you
look
at?
down, but then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with me?"
Yeah,
What
right.
is wrong
Why
with you?
can't I look at myself in the mirror?
Right? Like, what's going on here? Like, how much of this is me just not wanting to psych myself out about this
Yeah.
haircut and having like serious like issues of looking at myself in the mirror?
Anxiety of self-image. Yeah.
Right. And then it just starts to fucking like steamroll, and I just start
Oh, yeah.
sobbing, and I get a
Start-
boner, and uh,
You're
Maybe
thinking
I haven't
about-
got-
think about stuff.
maybe I haven't gotten to that point yet. But
Oh my god!
I mean, does anybody else experience anything similar to that? It's just this
Yes.
weird
I
fucking...
don't like looking at myself in the mirror when that happens either, but that's because I'm ugly. So
For me,
I found that Sport Clips is good. Yeah, obviously, you know, it's like a cheap place, but
Yeah.
they just have TVs everywhere with sports on it. You just watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to black barber shop, so I'm talking to everybody. And fucking, it's like a big ass fucking party in there. So,
Yeah, they
I mean,
yeah, I would
the
love. to
mirrors
try
are all
to-
cracked with bullet holes anyway. So
Uh, the what was I gonna say? Thought we were talking about
Oh.
haircut.
Nice memory.
The
Yeah. you even go to the barber, Ash?
not anymore. No, I was just saying
Pick
like
that shit at home.
the yeah, no, I just do this shit at home. It's been a while since I've had the haircut. But we were talking about feeling weird about looking at yourself. For me, it's especially if I watch videos
it's that
of me.
memory thing again.
Yeah, right. There goes that short-term memory. Like when you watch a video of yourself, and it's like that's what I look and sound like in life, in real
Yeah.
life.
Hmm.
Fuck that weirdo! I can't believe you guys talk to me.
Dude,
We're talking about real videos, not sex videos, Ashtray.
you have no idea how long it took me to get used to my own voice when I recorded shit.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Like the whole first book I did, I think the whole time I was just like, I can't. This sucks. I can't. I sound like a complete jackass because my voice is totally different than what it sounds like in my head.
Right, and then so you, yeah, it's like you become used to your own internal voice, and then I think you hear your external voice. It seems like an imposter syndrome kind of situation.
Right,
It's like,
yeah.
That's not me.
That's what I sound like.
I sound way cooler than that.
Yeah, that's what it is too.
That's what
Why do
Ashtray
these
thought when he
friends
listened to
all
our
laugh
recordings
at
back
my
in the day.
jokes if I sound like that?
You guys ever look in the mirror and just wink at yourself and blow a kiss?
Not yet.
No.
No? Okay. No, I seriously had a chick
Christ.
in high school ask me that. Like, she didn't say that specifically, but she was like, you ever just look in the mirror and just, like, get off on yourself? And I was like, no, but I'm ugly.
Yeah,
pretty
right.
hot,
Have
so.
you looked at me?
Right, yeah.
Honey.
And the whole time I'm like, damn, she does that? That's great. I want to see this.
You should have said like
Start-
no.
Start carrying like mirrors to school. I'm like, let's get down, baby. Let's
I
go.
have- Eventually
Do you ever take a Cornish hen and shove it up your ass? Just
Yeah,
fuck
right.
yourself?
Yeah.
Because I
Or
do.
if I'd be, what's a Cornish hen?
A cooked Cornish hen, too?
Ooh,
All right.
straight out of the oven.
All right,
This
on that
got
note.
real weird. All right, let's go on here.
Moving
Okay.
on.
Cornish hen
Obsession
enemas.
with Columbine.
Oh yes, that would be Ashtray. Yeah. So it was like front page news this morning.
Oh,
Was
it's
this
chick?
chick? Yeah, 18-year-old, whose name was
Trademark chick.
Soul. How would you pronounce that? It's SOL. So like
Soul.
Soul Pie, PAIS.
Sure.
Yep.
Soul
Pie.
pie.
Hi.
Soul Pie. She's from Florida, and she basically flew a one-way flight to Colorado to go to Columbine. Apparently, like a self-professed, like obsessive about Columbine, and she's 18, so that means this happened before
She's
she was
like-
even
she's-
alive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like 20 years ago, wasn't it?
it was
Yeah,
the 20th anniversary, right?
Exactly. That's why they were. The police were like kind of on high alert because of that. And I'm assuming it must have been messages or something that they were like onto her trail before she did anything, and they couldn't. It must be that they could not contact her, but they did know for sure she flew to Denver and that she had bought a shotgun. So they
What?
put it public. Yeah, like she flew to Denver. She went to a gun store that was 2 miles from Columbine High School.
Fucking crazy ass white
And bought
people.
a
See?
shotgun. Yeah, she passed two different background tests, and I'm sure for the the gun store owner, it's like, I don't know who the fuck this chick is, but she's got no record, so here's your shotgun, little lady.
Well, it's not really his fault either. He's just trying to make a living.
Right, and they, I mean,
Well,
Exploiting laws that fucking make no sense. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't know she's about to go murder people.
Yeah, so
It's the same as a bartender. No, some dude gets in his car and kills somebody. He didn't fucking. It's not his responsibility, for fuck's sake.
If you serve them too much, it is.
Yeah,
by
but
the law
dude-
it is, but it shouldn't be. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I get to that. I understand that, but come on. Do we
Although
have
at the
to be
same time-
babysitters of one another?
if they went by that metric,
If you were-
every
if you were
bartender
fucking-
in
if you're-
Wisconsin would be fucking locked up.
right?
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
like come on.
I mean, I've cut tons of people off before. I'm like, yeah, sorry, buddy, I'm not getting fined to go to jail because your dumb ass can't fucking.
The but this woman must have like, I assume she must have knew right away, like they were on her trail, because she bought the shotgun, and then the story became like public, national news that everybody's looking for her, and they found her today. It appears that she took an Uber to it's like, what, you're just gonna fly to Denver and like hoof it to the Columbine with a shotgun? Well, what are you doing, woman? She takes an Uber to Mount Evans National Park.
Sasha said her
And-
dad called the police.
Actually, I don't know. They didn't really say who tipped the authorities off.
Her dad.
But she did it.
Tasha said her dad called the police.
I know he called her police when they couldn't find her, and that he was worried she might have some mental problems. But I don't know if he said, yeah, she's obsessed with Columbine or not.
My question is, what did the Uber driver say when she got in the car with a shotgun?
Yeah, that's kind of awkward.
Right? Yeah,
How many
like,
stars did that driver give her?
Take me to Columbine.
Right? No shit, yeah.
Probably 5. And she's got the fucking shotgun.
Well, it was an Uber too, though, so there's an 87% chance that he was going to try to murder her anyway.
Right? And he's like, hey, fucking
Yeah,
this.
So he
He's
saw the
actually a
shotgun. He's
murderer.
like, all right.
So it's like, all right, well played. Okay.
Right.
Well played, little white girl. Well played.
So she went out to Mount Evans State Park, and I'm assuming she probably, via her phone saw that like she was front page news everywhere. So she took an Uber to Mount Evans Park. They don't really know why, but she then went there and took the shotgun and blew her head off.
Wow.
Wow.
She took
I know,
herself
isn't
out
that
without
such
taking anybody
crazy-
else out. Shit.
A crazy fucking story. Well, actually, her parents, they said, when the the local sheriff's department broke the news to the parents that they had found her dead, they were sad, but also relieved that like she didn't end up committing some mass shooting. God, that's got to be tough as a parent to be like, well, I'm glad my offspring died before they could, make even bigger mess.
Yeah.
I
that's
found out
kinda
about your
fucking-
masculine
That
when I
kinda
was 7
guilt
years old.
got a
Now I'm
hold-
here to kill you while I'm 18.
It's just kind of weird, It's like, what the hell got her on that fucking path?
Right.
Right? Especially being that it wasn't like,
It didn't even happen during her
That's what-
lifetime.
yeah,
Look,
it's
this
not like
is-
she
this
grew up
is- this
watching
is-
it. It's fixed.
This is why I don't trust white people. I don't even trust you three motherfuckers. All right? You think I'm joking?
Well,
All right?
Because of
I mean, I don't-
Columbine?
there
I
are
don't know,
because of-
Nazis
got a
who were
weird name.
obsessed with the fucking Third Reich, and they weren't alive then either, though. You know what I mean?
That's
That's
true.
true.
People get obsessed with the Nazis. You're right.
I'm
Right.
obsessed with the Black Panthers. I wasn't alive then.
I mean, I'm not equating some 2 fucking whack jobs shooting kids in a school to
Sure.
6 million people dying, but people
Right.
fucking are, attached to all kinds of.
Well, yeah, they're all examples of straight up evil. The what would be interesting to know is like when was it that she like found because it happened before she was she like 12 when she first heard about Columbine?
Yeah,
right.
Middle school. Like
15th
when was she like what she heard about it and became fascinated with it? Because while she's growing up, there's been so many other school shootings and stuff that
Yeah, why
Like-
that one,
Columbine was like huge for
I'm
its
just-
time, it set a precedent in itself, and maybe it's just because Columbine is still
Well, yeah, and it was so publicized too.
Yeah, so
It is
publicized,
There's
yeah.
tweets about it. There's
I'm just
everybody
happy-
knows Columbine when we just hear that word.
Right.
Like fuck, if I was that city, I would have changed my name.
I'm just happy she
Or
was
Columbo.
a Columbine
Columbo
doing
High
shooting
School.
because if it could have been 10 times easier for her to do the shooting at her own high school. So,
That's true.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's
right.
so I mean, like, she could have
that's
done
re-
that shit
that's
done
really
on
interesting,
school
right?
and probably never would have caught it. But her dumb ass got on a plane with the Columbine.
So it wasn't
shit,
about,
like, it's stupid.
just the school shooting. Yeah, that is weird that she traveled
Yeah.
all that way.
Well, and it's the thing too is from her writings, like there's a website that they're looking into that has like a bunch of scans of like her. She must have scanned her personal journals, like handwritten journals, and put them up on a website because it was signed off with her same name, and she kind of left it with this like a quote, basically saying something like, "The purpose of this site is for me to give insight into the thoughts I rarely, if ever, share with others while remaining somewhat anonymous. Everything from journal entries to my personal interests. I want to leave a record of myself before I, well, ... And that was like the last post.
How many
Which is
boyfriends
pretty
dodged that
ominous.
crazy bullet, huh?
Well, classmates are saying like they're really shocked because she was, I guess, like one of the top students as far as grades go, but she was just like really quiet and kept to herself.
That's because she studied bullet trajectories. That's why she was a fucking top student. I mean, shit.
Okay. Finally, we have Notre
Mystic.
Dame burning Mystic.
All right. Well, that's not it's not necessarily about Notre Dame. It's the fact that, yeah, it's horrible that this fucking landmark and this, 800-year-old or however many year old building is burnt. It's the fact that the response to rebuilding it was just so much quicker than anything else. You know what? Fuck that. The Catholic Church is worth $30 billion fucking dollars. They could rebuild their own goddamn church.
Apparently,
you know what I mean?
heard the French government actually is the one who owns it. So that might be a factor. That's what I heard in the news.
Guarantee you they don't own the artifacts in it.
Oh, probably not.
Bet you the church owns that shit.
Start
That's
fucking
why they got
pawning
that out
shit
right away.
off, man. eBay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
eBay, the crown of thorns.
It's like, come on, man. The people in Flint, Michigan still have. I mean, there's Americans donating money to rebuild this thing. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck them.
There's people in Flint that don't have
Like,
fucking
unless
clean
you
water.
are
There's people in
an
Puerto
expat.
Rico that still don't have electricity because of a fucking hurricane. You know what I
Happened a
mean?
year ago, yeah.
Right.
And that's fucking. You can think of. I bet you those people that had their shit all burnt to fucking crisp because they didn't rake the forest in California.
Yeah.
So they're all fucking. That shit isn't rebuilt yet. Like, what the fuck, man? We got other shit to worry about. There's plenty of homeless people in this country. Fucking. All I'm saying is fuck Catholicism.
It comes right down to it.
Let's just get
When
to
it
the
comes
point.
right down.
Fuck Catholicism. Okay?
I haven't seen it, but I was just telling my coworkers, like, there's gonna be a conspiracy that because they were having such a hard time fundraising money to renovate it, and I guess the French government was only going to commit 25% of the necessary funds, and they were having a slow time getting money. It's like, well, let's say that it's the old hunchback didn't just drop his joint.
Yeah, right. Well, did you see the thing now that people are like they think they see the image of Jesus
Oh
in
yeah,
the
I
flame?
saw that.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Or it's like, oh, that gold cross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
The gold cross didn't melt, but all the wood did. Yeah, because wood burns at 500 less degrees. Fucking moron. There's a science to it. It's the same concept as when people were like,
Yeah, there's a you don't
with
believe
the
in God.
towers.
Fuck you.
Oh, well, that shit's hot enough to melt steel. No, it's actually not. And they've talked to fucking steel experts. You know what I mean? That's fuel. It couldn't have melted that shit.
Okay.
Conspiracy.
It is a conspiracy.
In all
with you, bro.
seriousness, go fuck yourself, Teddy. I'll see you at the bottom of the sea.
Wow.
Don't fucking knock on my
Okay.
diving adventure.
Oh,
Fucking
okay.
dickhead.
Can't take a little razzle dazzle from the Ted Meister. See, I hear you little bitch.
That's our-
Razzle-dazzle, okay, bro.
That's our show. We're going to be here every Wednesday or Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you check us out at theredeyereport.com. You can find us on Facebook if you're in our call. You know where to find us. We do a bunch of fucking dumb memes and shit. Don't twiddle us. We don't give a fuck about us. We're down for whatever. I'm
We
Oracle.
should get an Instagram.
I missed it.
I'm Teddy.
And this is Ashtray.
Oh, Ashtray was even after Nibbles. Nibbles
Yeah,
no
like,
more.
no more.
Little Nibbles. Nibbles no more.
And this is the Red Eye
Yep.
Report.
It was fun.
No, he's not. It's sick,
You gonna cook
motherfucker.
that thing up? Yeah, mice are good eating, man.
Whatever, man.
When you're desperate.
Oracle, when you come back from your open sea adventure missing a leg, I am never gonna stop wrestling. Ever, bro. I'm like, no. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm gonna have
Good
a cool
luck,
peg leg,
but-
dude.
Look, good luck, but
Egg
look, they got
leg
some
Oracle.
giant ass catfish in them fucking lakes. All right, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Big leg Oracle stomping by. Why do you wear the eye patch? So I look cool.
Right?
So kids are running away from me screaming.
Flunk.